Hey, how's it going? My name's Hussein the Brain. Welcome to our second fantasy basketball show. We've been getting a lot of questions this year about fantasy basketball, and people have been asking us for advice. That's good to hear. We love to help you guys out. From now on, go ahead and send your questions directly to the guru. His email is matt@fantasycouch.com, and we have Matt B on the phone right now listening in, ready to answer questions and to chip in. We've answered most of the questions that we got in the email, but here's the most recent question. Hey guys at Fantasy Couch, I'm stacked at the point guard and center position. I really need a win this week. Are there any people on waivers that you recommend? Well, here's a list of my top 5 guys to pick up on waivers. Oh, by the way, he's in a 12-man league category scoring. My first guy to pick up is Paul George on the Pacers. I think that team has a lot of room for a guy to really explode, put up a lot of stats, and Paul George seems to be the guy. The second guy on the list is Wes Johnson. A guy who's been up and down, but he's on the Timberwolves. Again, that's like the Pacers, a similar situation. A lot of room for a guy to put up a lot of numbers. Third guy on my list is Ryan Anderson. Number 4, Sonny Weems on the Raptors. And number 5, a guy who's been really up and down. Really risky pickup, but still he made it on my list, is Austin Day. Matt, what do you have to say about these 5 guys? And you're the guru, man, so go ahead and rearrange it. Put some more guys in there, take some guys out, do your thing.
What's up, Fantasy Couch? I like those top 5 picks. Paul George, Wes Johnson, both rookies this year, coming out drafted 10th and 4th respectively. They have the rare 1-1-1 potential, which is 1-3, 1 steal, 1 block. Sean Marion was in that category and was the number 1 fantasy player for that reason a few years ago. Both these guys are athletes, can get to the line, finish, and can rebound hard for their position. Ryan Anderson, I see him as the next Troy Murphy and Mehmet Okur in their prime. Now that he's stepped into the starting role next to D. Howard, all the attention's on him, so Ryan Anderson come in there and grab 10 boards as well, hit down the occasional 3. Sonny Weems and Austin Day. Weems is interesting with Kleza out for the year, but there's a lot of unknowns up there in Toronto. Austin Day, he's too up and down for me, and the rumor has it that Tayshaun Prince may be sticking around, which is not good news for Austin Day. Instead of Weems and Day, I might pick up Kyle Korver out in Chicago. They're giving him more time, and that's because of his dead-eye shooting, and that's exactly why they picked him up. Shannon Brown out in L.A. With the season, second half of the season coming up, they're going to want to rest Kobe down the stretch, which means more time for Shannon Brown to shine. Another guy who may be out there for you is Thabo Cephalosha. This guy has defensive stats, not going to impress you, but will hold it down for you if you're looking for a shooting guard, small forward.
All-Star Weekend's coming up, and I gotta say I'm pretty excited. I actually like watching the freshman-sophomore game. I love the dunk competitions. I love the All-Star game. Well, not so much, but I love the dunk competitions. Everyone always talks about it every year. Who's a breakout candidate? Who breaks out after the All-Star game? And we're gonna go ahead and make some predictions. My prediction for the All-Star, the post-All-Star breakout this year is Ron Artest. And this is very risky, but there are some trade rumors, and if he gets traded, I predict that he's gonna just blow up, put up major numbers, all the defensive categories, points, 3-pointers, just like he did back when he was on the Rockets.
Ron Artest, his really only potential breakout this year is if he is indeed traded. LA's really interested in Kurt Heinrich, but I don't see Artest working out in Washington. He may be sent elsewhere, or some other trade may happen. But unless that does happen, he's borderline even rosterable in most leagues, with his only real value is steals and occasional points if he's on fire. Some guys I really like coming up for the second half of the season that I might want to target in a trade. Ever since Jim O'Brien left in Indiana, Darren Collison has averaged 19 points, 4 boards, 7.5 assists per game, with 2 threes and 2 steals to go with that. Same with Roy Hibbert. He's been back to October-November form, back to the breakout candidate of the year potential he's been showing earlier this year. And Paul George, as mentioned before. I look for those guys in a trade. Someone I might want to trade away, Manu Ginobili. Top 5 fantasy player right now, so don't undervalue him. I would get a top 20 talent for sure back in that trade. Maybe somebody like Joe Johnson, put up similar numbers. But Coach Popovich tends to rest his guys down the stretch, and that doesn't look good for Manu owners who've worked so hard to get into the championship round, only to see one of their star players sit. So get full value for him now and get somebody who's going to definitely play down the stretch. Tyreek Evans. Except for his steals in .5 three-pointers, everything else is down across the board for Tyreek this year. Definitely in a sophomore slump, although I think his plantar fasciitis is aside, and he could potentially break out the second half of the season. So I'd go ahead and trade for him, buy low situation only.
As we're approaching the playoffs in fantasy basketball, you want to think about people to trade away as well as people to buy low right now. You want to make sure that you have a solid run once you make it to the playoffs. So make sure you check out our articles coming out on fantasycouch.com. Check out what Matt has to say about people to trade for and people to trade away.